All right, guys, we're here looking at the exclusive seller brokerage agreement. This is what we refer to as our listing agreement. This is where a seller is hiring you to sell their property. Okay. And as we start working our way through this, it's going to start out with the address, city, county, zip code, and tax parcel ID number. That's how we identify the property. That's what we are. That's how we talk about a property, is its address. But when we sell a property, the address really doesn't matter. Okay, what we're selling is based on the legal description. That's the property. So this second section here is extremely important that we get this right. Okay, and these have been listed in the order that we prefer them. Okay, the number one is attached as an exhibit here too. Okay, that means instead of us filling something out and saying, here's the legal description of the property, we have some other document. We have a copy of the deed is the most likely document that we have, a copy of the deed that says this is the property we're selling. Okay, it is how it's written in this deed over here. Okay, and then we would then label that deed as our exhibit A. Most likely could be B or C. Okay, our second option is we go look for the deed book and page. Every time that there's a sale of the property, every time it changes hands, a new deed is recorded and is placed in the deed book with the county. Okay, so if we know which book it's in and which page it's on, we can go find a copy of the deed and know which specific property we're talking about. On a deed page, there's only one property. So we're identifying a really unique property here, which is very different from a plat book, which we see shows up in the third description where we've got a plat book in a page. Plat book is actually a map. And on that map, there may be multiple properties. Okay, so if we're going to use option 3, we actually have to have 4 pieces of information in order for it to be a proper legal description. Okay, one of those is the plat book and plat page, so that we end up looking at the right map. Okay, but on that map with multiple properties, how do we know which property we're specifying? Well, we have to designate which subdivision it's in, and then what's the lot number. Okay, so if we go look in a plat book on a specific page, we look in this subdivision and we look at this lot number, we now have one piece of property. Okay, but very often all of these details that they ask for in here are land lot of the whatever district, whatever section, lot number, block number, unit number, phase number, subdivision name, plat book, plat page. We're going to be missing most of that information. And very often it's impossible to find even those 4 key pieces that we have to have. So we really don't like you using option 3. Okay, we would rather you use number 2 if we're going to fill it in. Number 4 gets even more complicated. That's if we're talking about a townhome, not a townhome, a condominium. Okay, a townhome could be a condominium, but it's not necessarily. A detached single-family home could be a condominium. A condominium is a type of ownership to where you own both your space and you own a share of the common space. Okay, and those 2 ownerships are recorded in different places, and so you have to have the plat book and page for our space. Okay, and then we also have to have the condominium floor plan book and page for our common area, and you're going to really struggle to find this. So if ever you are struggling to find deed book and page and you don't have a copy of the deed, okay, these are really the only 2 options we want to see you guys using. If you can't find that deed book and page and you don't have access to the deed, talk to your local friendly real estate attorney, whoever your favorite is. they'll be happy to pull it for you, or let me know, and I'll be happy to pull it for you. Okay. In either case, we'll get you a copy of that deed. But deed booking page is very easy to find 99% of the time on your CRS tax suite inside of Paragon, or in Realist inside of Matrix. Okay. We then get down to our list price and dates. Okay. And this is where we really need some clarity, is around the dates. The price at which the property shall be listed, that's a pretty easy one. You know, what have we agreed to with the seller that we're going to list the property for? 200,000, 250,000, 307,900. Okay. But while we're in here, I want you guys to understand the best price that you could put on a property is going to be close to market value, one. So pull our comps and make sure we know. But also don't try and use that age-old trick of $199,900 or $199,999. Okay, that does not help your client. You want to use nice round numbers in today's market because of the way people shop for property. Where are you most likely to go look for property? Where do we go look for property? Well, online, in search engines. For us, we use our MLS system. Okay, but when I go look for a property for a client, I don't go look for properties from 199,900 to 219,900. Okay, I look from 200,000 to 220,000. Okay, so whatever this price is I put in here, I want to pick a price that's going to be somebody's high number and somebody's low number. Okay, if I price the property at 200,000, well, people searching from 180 to 200, they're going to see mine. And people searching from 200 to 220, they're going to see mine. That's great. If I price it at 199.9, people searching for 200,000 to 220 don't even see my property. Okay, but so because of the way we search for property has changed, drop that old school way of thinking about pricing and put in nice round even numbers, preferably multiples of 5,000, even better 10,000, even better 20,000, and even better 100,000. Okay, that's how people think. Okay, then we're going to have our dates. The commencement date of the agreement. Okay, when are we agreeing that we're going to be their agent and they're agreeing to hire us? Okay, typically this is the day we're signing the contract. Okay, this agreement. And then when's this agreement going to end? How long are they allowing us to list the property? Okay, so we have a start date and an end date. Okay, but just because they've hired us to help them sell the home, we haven't been given permission yet to market the property. That's what paragraph 3 is about. Okay, and this is where we're agreeing that we will list the property in Georgia MLS, FMLS, and KWLS. Okay, and our marketing will commence on a certain date. So they could hire me today, but they need a couple of weeks to finish up some painting, cleaning up, getting rid of some of the clutter, and they want to start 2 weeks from today. Okay, well, they're going to hire me today. That's our commencement date, but we're not going to start marketing the property or telling the world that it's available for 2 weeks. Okay, this is further complicated by coming soon. Okay, coming soon is an option that we've been given in the MLS, and in order to do coming soon, there's a special stipulation that we need to add to our contract. And let me pull that up for you really quickly. So in our special stipulations, and we're not there yet, I'll show you where this will go, okay? But this is the clause that we're going to need to add to it if we're going to be marketing a property as coming soon. All parties agree that the property located at 123 Main Street, Snellville, Georgia, will be advertised as a coming soon listing and will not be shown by the listing agent, seller, or any other agent until status changes to an active listing. This listing will change to an active listing no later than 21 days from the execution of this listing agreement. In the event the home is shown during the coming soon listing period, seller agrees the listing will be immediately changed from coming soon to active, and seller agrees not to accept any offer for at least 72 hours without first giving notice to all parties who requested showing information during the coming soon period to avoid potential fair housing law violations. Prior to this date, property will be advertised as coming soon. On that date, property will be updated in the MLS systems to an active listing. Okay, so let's go back to our example of we're signing them up today. They're agreeing that we're going to be their agent today, but they don't want the property. They're not going to be ready for showings for a couple of weeks because of the painting, the cleaning, and getting rid of the clutter. Well, we've got to make an additional decision. Are we going to market the property at any point as coming soon? Okay, if we want to start marketing it today as coming soon, which means we can have no showings, but we get to let other agents know. We get to talk about it on Facebook. We get to put a sign in the yard. We get to put a lockbox on the door. Okay, we want to start getting the word out and creating some buzz around the property today, but we're not going to go active and start showings for 2 weeks. Well, in that case, they're hiring us today. Our marketing commencement would be today because we can't market a property as coming soon if we have not been given permission to market the property. Okay, and marketing it as coming soon gives us the opportunity to market but not to show it. Okay, so we would, commencement date would be today, marketing date would be today, and in our coming soon special stipulation, we would say that the property is going to go active in 2 weeks. Okay, so there's 4 critical dates: the day they're going to hire us, the day we start marketing, the day it goes active, and the day that it ends. Okay, now those could we could sign the listing today and start marketing the property today. Okay, and not do a coming soon, in which case we would really only have 2 dates. They're hiring us today, our marketing commencement is today, and then we have our end. Okay, so we've got a lot of flexibility and options in here, but you just need to understand and have clarity around what each of these dates mean. The commencement date's the day that we were hired. Marketing is the day we get to talk about it. Okay, if we're going to be talking about it as a coming soon, then we need to also decide what's our active date going to be, which cannot be more than 3 weeks after the marketing commencement date. Okay, and then our end date. Those are our 4 dates. A couple other little things that are stuck in here right in this one little paragraph is you have to understand that our agreement with the MLS system, and this paragraph 3A says that we're going to follow the rules of our MLS. Our MLS agreement says that we will have the property in the MLS system within 24 hours of this marketing commencement date, 1 business day. Okay, and we are here in this paragraph 3B stating the seller shall have the right upon notice of the broker to move this date up or back by not more than blank number of days. Okay, and what I would love to see in there is 0 days, because I'm building a marketing plan, and if the day that everything is supposed to kick off, my seller tells me, hey, we need another 3 days, 7 days, whatever, that can throw my whole plan off. So I'd like to see 0 days in there, but we may want to give them some flexibility in here. But keep in mind, people will usually take all of the time you give them. So if they say that they need 2 weeks in order to get certain work done and get ready, they're going to use up those whole 2 weeks. And if they knew that they had an extra 7 days of cushion, then they're not going to work as hard to get it done in those 2 weeks. They're going to know, well, I've got 3 weeks to get it done, really. And then we might not hit the timeline we initially committed to. So use your discretion here, but there's nothing wrong with putting 0 days in here. All right, as we move forward, we talk about what commissions are being offered. Okay, and historically in Georgia, all commissions have been paid by the seller. The seller pays the listing broker, okay, a percentage, and a common number we've seen is 6%. Okay, that would go in this first line, but it could also be a flat rate or some other combination. Okay, they pay us, and in turn, if another broker brings the buyer, then we pay a commission to them. Okay, so we'll often see the first box marked here at 6%, and the first box here marked in 3%. But we are seeing a lot more variety in the marketplace. Okay, we do see, I don't necessarily encourage you to do this. You have to do what's right for your client, and all commissions are negotiable. But I see some listing brokers not offering a commission to the cooperating broker. Okay, this may be 3% and $1, or 3% and 1%. I don't recommend that because you take a lot of potential buyers out of your buyer pool if they're going to be obligated to pay their buyer's brokerage, instead of having that be part of the entire offer. Okay, something that gets included in with their mortgage. If they have to come up with a cash, that changes it. Commission adjustments to the cooperating broker, that's if there's anything that we're doing that's not defined up here, or anything that the cooperating broker might do that would change the offer we make. So example, if buyer's broker does not show the property, and instead the listing agent shows the property, the commission will be reduced to X. Okay, again, don't like that. Our job is to get it sold. If the agent on the other side needs our help to make that happen, go do it. You've already committed to this client. You want to make it happen. So any questions about that, let me know. But typically you should see this paragraph 4C left blank. Okay. D, separate commission on lease. My expectation is if I'm listing a property, there's a minimal chance that the seller is going to change their mind and decide to either lease it or offer it as a lease purchase. Okay, if they're going to do that, then really I want to sign a different type of brokerage agreement with them. But if we want to go ahead and define that here, we can put in here what's being paid and when. But my recommendation would be NA and NA. The length of protected period. So if our listing agreement expires and one of the buyers we helped attract to the property ends up making an offer on the property, even though our listing agreement has expired, is there a period of time for which the seller should still be obligated to pay us? My recommendation there is 90 days. Okay. In paragraph 6, very often new agents will want to mark, since this is a listing agreement, that we're talking about seller agency. That is not what this paragraph says. It says the following are types of agency relationships not offered by the broker. The types of agency relationships we do not offer are dual agency and sub-agency. Okay, and since we do not offer dual agency, there's no reason for the seller to consent to it. So go ahead and just every time seller does not consent to broker acting in a dual agency capacity. Okay. In paragraph 7, we need to know, are there any issues, are there any third parties that may have to be involved in order to approve the house being listed and approve the house being sold. Okay, two different issues. Okay, so anytime you hear the word bankruptcy or divorce, you know we potentially have an issue right here. Okay, other potential issues would be a short sale where we're selling it for less than what's owed on the property. Okay, or if the seller is not untitled. Okay, so this could be a number of different situations, death in the family, things like that, where there's an issue with the seller not being on the title that's going to have to be resolved before we go to the closing table. Okay. And then under negotiations, I would assume this is always going to be seller. Seller does authorize the broker to assist in negotiating the terms of and filling out pre-printed form contracts for seller's review and approval. Okay, that's the end of section A. Section B are the paragraphs that explain everything we just talked about, all the fields we just signed in. So it defines what the listing price and listing period are, talks about the marketing, what we do. I encourage you guys go through, read every one of these paragraphs, read every sentence, make sure you understand what these mean. Okay, where are our responsibilities to our client? What is the client's responsibilities to us? For example, here in paragraph C1, it says that the seller is agreeing within 3 days of this date of the agreement. They will provide broker with a current, fully executed seller's property disclosure statement or disclosure of latent defects and fixtures checklist. Okay, they've agreed that they're going to do that, and you need to know that in order for you to have a valid listing agreement, okay, that prior to listing the property, we need to have a fully executed lead-based paint disclosure exhibit. Okay, so before they sign this form, we need to sign the lead-based paint disclosure form. Okay, if you don't read this, there's going to be details like this that are going to escape you and potentially put you or your listing at risk. So make sure you go through and read all of this. Then we're going to get down to our exhibits. And most likely the only exhibit that we're going to attach would be the legal description. If we're using the deed, if we use deed book and page, there's nothing here that we're going to attach except for the lead-based paint exhibit. Okay, if it was built before 1978 or has any fixtures built before 1978. There may be pamphlets we want to share. Okay, we can either do it at this time, we can do it at a different time. There's no obligation that we have to share any of these, but there may be content and information in these brochures that would be helpful to your client. So go ahead and share them and feel free to mark which ones you have shared. Okay, then we get down to our special stipulations box. So that coming soon special stipulation, this is where you would just copy the text from that special stipulation, and we're going to list it in here. There could be other special stipulations that we include, such as a pre-agreed upon price reduction if we're not under contract in a specific period of time, or some unique situation that you're facing. Okay, if you're tempted to put anything in here in special stipulations, besides the coming soon or a automated reduction in sales price, call me, talk to me. Let me take a look at the language, make sure that you put it together well. Then we get down to our client's information, and we need all of this filled out. Okay, because again, remember, this is an agreement between the broker and the seller. Okay, so we need all of their information in here just in case you disappear. You're non-responsive, something happened in your world, you're not available any longer. We still have a contractual obligation to take care of them. We need to make sure that we know how to do that. So make sure you've got all their information on there, and then all your information in the broker spot, except for the fax numbers. So unless you have a fax that you monitor and look at every day, I wouldn't include fax numbers in here. And hopefully they will take those away in the not too distant future. But everything else needs to be filled in. And then once everybody has a signed copy, go ahead and fill in this box that says that everybody has signed and agreed. All right, and guys, that's the end of the exclusive seller brokerage engagement agreement. If you got any questions, give me a call.